Dougal, Sky News.
We'll update you, of course, as we get more news from Pakistan. Let's get the rest of the news now with Charlotte.
Thanks, Mark. Good morning. The mother of 3 children found dead in their home has been charged with their murders. 8-year-old twins Augustino and Gianluca Rigi were
Sky News.
Robbie Williams will marry his fiancée Ada Field in California today. The couple are expected to tie the knot on the island of Santa Catalina. The pair met through friends 3 years ago. The singer's family will attend, but his Take That colleagues will not be at the ceremony.
So don't take that, then.
Don't take
No,
that.
don't
There'll
take
be a
that,
lot
right.
of disappointed female fans this morning.
Will there?
There'll be Robbie's no longer, well, not that he was available anyway, but definitely off the books now.
Right. Sorry. Thank you very much. Newspapers for you now. Very good morning. You're watching Sunrise this Saturday with me, Mark Longhurst. We're live through until 10 o'clock. Still to come, we've got a review of all the papers with the Telegraph's digital media editor, Emma. Good morning and welcome once more. Charlotte, too, with the rest of the headlines fairly shortly. But first, we're going to update you with our
Sky News.
more to come on that, of course, and we'll be covering that event in Birmingham too later on. Let's get the rest of the day's news now with Charlotte.
Thanks, Mark. The mother of 3 children found dead in their home has been charged with their murders. 8-year-old twins Agostino and Gianluca Rigi were found with their...
So they were a sing-along, you know, for the reception.
that would be
and sort of
nice,
all
wouldn't
together
it?
now. Well, there we are.
Bit of karaoke.
Indeed. Time for the papers now. Joining us, the Daily Telegraph's digital media editor, Emma Barnett. Good morning, and welcome. Before you're off to a wedding yourself in Paris today.
Yeah.
Not Robbie
nice.
Williams is then.
No,
Yeah.
no, sadly not. No invite.
No. Right. RAF cuts, they really are the few, it seems, according to the Telegraph.
Yes, Telegraph's seen reports which shows that the services will lose in total up to 16,000 personnel. And in terms of the Air Force, the cuts that are being proposed will leave our Air Force at the smallest it's been since the First World War. So the cuts that are being in detail for the RAF is they will lose almost 1/6 of its total staff, 7,000 airmen and 295 aircraft. The cuts will leave the force with fewer than 200 fighter planes. And then moving on to the Army faces a 40% cut to its fleet of armoured vehicles and a loss of 5,000 strong brigade of troops. And then in terms of when this will actually come about, in October is when the agreement with the Treasury after an announcement will be made whether this is actually going to happen.
I mean, the other thing that sort of tucked away then, that the Eurofighter Typhoon, which is the new frontline aircraft, are going to reduce that from 160 to 107 planes, and a further reduction, all based at a single airfield. Well, I mean, surely if you're going to attack Britain, I wonder which airfield we hit first.
Yeah.
I mean, is this really sort of...
Well, I think also there's still a debate about which department will take responsibility for paying for Trident. And so I think there's some kind of hope that the Ministry of Defence hopes that when voters realise the scale of these cuts, they might have some sympathy.
So there may be a bit of political leverage going on with this. Right.
Essentially.
OK. Yoko Ono has stopped the release... Oh, right, but I thought all the Beatles tunes were actually coming onto iTunes, but not.
Slightly misleading headline, maybe. Yeah, so the Beatles, no digital downloads available anyway. If you want to put it on your iPod, you've got to put it yourself on. It's from a CD you own.
Which have been remastered digitally,
yeah. All remastered. But Yoko Ono's given an update on the talks that are going on between Apple and the people who own all the trademarks to the Beatles songs. And she said that there's still one element blocking that actually from happening, from the agreement going on between the shareholders of the rights and Apple. So she said, don't hold your breath anytime soon.
Because, I mean, the interesting thing is they don't actually own the publishing rights, because I think Michael Jackson actually bought a lot of them with Sony. So they haven't actually got the freedom to say, yeah, make our songs available, because they don't own the publishing rights.
No, but I mean, it's just a big gap in, you know, the iPod offering, if you like, because, you know, you go onto iTunes and you always expect to be able to get everything. So it's still a big block, and when that happens, it will be a big moment. Yeah,
long and winding road. Right, on to the Daily Mirror. The Twizzlers are back.
Potentially. Education Minister Nick Gibb has told MPs all new academies, which is obviously what the Tories want schools to become, will not have to stick to tough rules limiting the fat, salt and sugar content in dinners. So, obviously, the Mirror have gone to Jamie Oliver with this, having found this out, and he's issued a statement saying how what a big concern that the decision will be made by each academy and no rules being applied.
But why? What's the justification for sort of going backwards?
I think they're hoping, you know, sort of hands off government, That's what they're trying to promote with these type of academies.
Local decision making.
Local decision making, that actually people will be able to, you know, make the right decision when it comes to things like this.
There'll just be, you know, a sort of machine in the hallway with whatever delights are available.
Yeah, but with people trying to, you know, cut costs as well, you can only imagine.
Yeah. Right, extraordinary news if you're turning your sat-nav on the way home this morning, or on your way out, rather. Brian Blessed.
Yes, Flash Gordon, Volton, you can hear good old Brian Blessed now on your TomTom. It's an option, the company stress. You don't have to have Brian Blessed, which I like the fact they have to stress
like
that.
it or not.
So, you know, he's got these famous catchphrases such as "Dive my Hawkman dive" has been re-recorded to "Drive Hawkman drive." And when you sort of arrive at your destination, instead of "Gordon's alive," which is the famous line from Flash Gordon, he booms "Gordon's arrived." So they're hoping that, you know, this will increase the popularity of the TomTom, because the voice can be a bit monotonous, and they have tried to spice it out with people like Homer.
Frighten the life out of me, though. If I'm driving along and all of a
That's what
sudden
you
the booming
want.
voice says, "Turn left
Pay
now."
attention! Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts? News@sky.com, 84501 for the text, as to who you would like on your sat-nav, your generic sat-nav system, not necessarily your TomTom.
No, not necessarily TomTom.
Yeah, OK. Well, thank you very much indeed for that. We'll navigate our way through some more papers a little later with whatever voice you fancy. Thank you very much indeed. Now, the classic comedy of the good life portrayed that suburban couple trying to make Sharks, buffalo? God, dear, what a wedding. You've been very good already with your emails about the sat-nav suggestions as to the voices.
The news is Brian Blessed's going to be doing a voice, so we asked who would you like to have as your voice. Becky in Colchester says she'd love either Rolf Harris, can you tell where you are yet? Or Sir David Attenborough on her sat-nav. Both very reassuring voices, she says. Alex says, what about Victor Meldrew? Can you imagine if you took a wrong turn? Mark
I
will
don't
now...
believe it! Yes.
Very good. Clive says, not about what the voice you'd want, but he says he has a name for his sat-nav. She's called Penelope, which I thought was quite nice.
Yeah.
There you are. So if you've got a name for your sat-nav, let us know.
What are you doing in your private time?
Perhaps there's little conversations there. And John Tennant says he'd download my voice to his sat-nav. He says, have I been asked?
Oh,
how nice.
how nice. Yes. Nice, cheery, yeah, absolutely.
Would you like to turn left now?
No, you don't say, would you like? You say, turn left now.
Turn left now,
That's it. Yeah. Where are we? Why didn't you bring the...
I wouldn't possibly say that.
Where is the... yes. Thank you very much indeed. What about the world's fastest man?
Yes, is he there yet? He is.
Yeah. And here
Into
goes.
goes.
Absolutely. I think mine would be Kenneth Williams. Stop messing about.
Yes.
We will, actually, because it's the weather. What a wet, old, wild and miserable night down
and how
south,
fantastic is that all the bad weather goes through in the night?
Oh, I see. Clever.
You see?
And
It's
then
well
you
organised this weekend.
Switch the sun on for the day, for the weekend.
Sun,
good
maybe.
idea.
Just about. It's certainly not too bad.
More to come on the flooding, of course, but let's get an update too on the rest of the day's news now with Charlotte.
Thanks, Mark. The mother of 3 children found dead in their home has been charged with their murders. 8-year-old twins, Augustino and Gianluca Rigi. Robbie Williams will marry his fiancée, Ida Field, in California today. The couple are expected to tie the knot on the island of Santa Catalina. The pair met through friends 3 years ago. The singer's family will attend, but his Take That colleagues will not be at the ceremony.
And apparently lots of buffalo on Santa Catalina, we're told.
A variety of
yeah,
people will be
and
there.
sharks in the water.
Yeah.
Thank you. Time for the morning papers. Let's look at the time. Very good morning. You're watching Sunrise this Saturday with me, Mark Longhurst. We're live through until 10 o'clock. Still to come live with the papers. Emma's back from the Telegraph. Good morning once more.
Yeah.
And, of course, Charlotte with the rest of the news headlines coming up in a moment. But first, we're going to update you on those papers coming up with Emma shortly. But first, Charlotte with the rest of the day's news.
Thanks, Mark. The mother of 3 children found dead in their home has been charged with their murders. 8-year-old twins, Augustino and Gianluca Rigi, were found...
Still managed to puff it, though.
Very nicely too, yeah. Thank you very much indeed for that. What about the weather as we head in towards the weekend? Real wetto night down south overnight. Is it going to clear for the rest of the day?
It is clearing,
Oh,
yes,
good.
but since we're having sat-nav discussions this morning, and I'm a nervous driver, it would be going, it's raining and there's lots of water on the road, be careful.
yeah.
Yes, just be careful. Lots of
Slow
puddles
down.
as well, lots
Yes.
of spray as I drove in. So, yes, do be careful if you're out there.
More from Pakistan as we get it, but let's get the rest of the day's news too with Charlotte.
Thanks, Mark. Breaking news in the last hour, and the bodies of 2 American and 6 German doctors have been found in Afghanistan. It's thought they were part of a group of 10 people who were ambushed and killed by militants.
Congratulations to the happy couple.
Yes, if they're watching, you know, where's our invite? Something
Yeah,
along those
maybe
lines.
not right at this moment. However, thank you very much. Front pages of the papers for you now.